That's the shot.
Hiya, welcome to another edition of DocWob TV. This one is the yams we're building. We're building 5 more yams. I know, forget me. I say every year, I ain't building no more. But on the Yamaha platform, we know what we're doing now. We've built them for 3 or 4 years. We kind of know what works and what doesn't. We can build them relatively inexpensive. So we're building one for Tommy, but that's going to be on Tommy's channel. And you'll see the build of that on his. We're going to do like all kinds of ideas he's got with that. I think Monster are going to film it. This one here is for Carson Brown. So Carson is really fast, really aggressive. He's really quite heavy on stuff. So we need to make sure that, well, we're not going to make any difference. The bikes are all built to the same spec anyway, so it'll be as good as we can make it. So I can go through the build of his bike with you. So this is a 2002 YZ250, just a rough old dog we bought, took it apart, and here's the motor, here's the frame, the swing arm is over there, the new airbox, brakes. We've got plenty to go at. I'll show you in a bit. But he was hard on it. I mean, like, he destroyed the back brake, like ripped the disc clean off the hub, didn't he?
Yeah, fine.
And carried on going.
Carried on going. No brake, no back brake, carried on going.
So the first, obviously, is the frame. So the frame has to go for paint strip first, see what you're dealing with, see if there's any cracks, previous repairs. I do like to buy frames that have never been repaired or painted before, but you just can't. They're thin on the ground. So this one had to go for paint stripping, seeing where we're at, came back. Then we had Mark the welder attach the factory lugs that we get made for the skid plate. We do change the steering stop because we want a YZ triple clamp 20. I will say what offset, but I don't want to give away any secrets. So we have a different offset triple clamp, but it means we have to lower the steering stop to be flush with the bottom, so it catches the steering stops on the triple clamps. Apart from that, a check over for any repairs. There's a couple of little dents on the frame that got repaired, so now she's good to go. We'll take all the paint off the contact points, which I see a lot of people don't do, and you really should, because it's the way the factories have taught a generation of guys who used to work on these. And I see so many people doing bike builds, giving it, oh, my bike looks great. Yeah, it does, but you've got powder coat on all the contact surfaces. And for example, on a motor mount, you've got 2 layers here, 2 layers here. That's 4 layers of powder coat. How thick do you think powder coat is? Is it 1/4 mil? So you've got 1 millimeter, basically a 1 millimeter rubber washer. You don't want that. So take all the powder coat off for any points where anything's going to bolt on. Most people just do the coil mounts and they wonder why they don't get a good earth. Well, it's a circuit. So it has to earth through the motor, through the frame, into the coil. Well, if your motor's insulated with powder coat, it ain't going to work very well. So trust me, you need to have all that powder coat. So we'll do all that first before we bolt anything in. And then as we go, we'll clean up the swing arm, new linkage bearings, billet linkage potentially from Denton. We'll have it as a tester for Carson. We'll go out testing beforehand with Carson. I hear from sources that he's hard on stuff, but he's also a good tester, so he knows what he wants. He's requested that we build him a steel frame bike as opposed to the alley frame 06, which we've got, which he's allowed to race in the Evo Ultra, but he wants to race one of our 02 race bikes. He's from the same area as Villapoto, so Ryan spoke to him and he's like, that's the bike you want. So in their eyes, you've got to ride a Steely. So that's what we're building. It'll be the same colour scheme as the other bikes, which is going to be in a Yamaha anniversary colour scheme. We haven't seen that yet. I don't know what it's going to look like. So they've told me the basic colour. So black frame, gold wheels. Black plastic on the front end, white plastic on the back end. The actual graphics, there's an embargo until July and I'm not allowed to see them until then, let alone get them out there. So when you see the MotoGP bikes rolling out, that's what our bikes are going to look like. So then Yamaha will put them on Yamaha.com. Well, for us, that's massive. So that's the first time a manufacturer, an OEM manufacturer, has highlighted a bike restoration company You won't see it on Kawasaki, Honda, none of those guys. So we'll be the first, to my knowledge, to be recognised and have our work shown on a proper Yamaha website. So that will be a big thing for us. So we're looking forward to it. So there will be 7 of these in this colour plus Thomas. So there's 8. And then we've got a little bit of work to do, but I'm not worried. We've got plenty of parts. Most of the stuff's here now. It's currently off being powder coated, cerakoted, anodized, nickel plated, all that stuff. So when that gets back here, all systems go, and these will come together fairly quickly.
Hey guys, for all your updates at VMXdN, get over to DocWob's YouTube page and check it out. We're going to keep you guys all up to date and with all the race, the results and things like that and everything that's going on. So get over to YouTube, check it out. It's going to be a good time.
Engineers over here. Where's my coffee anyway?
I thought you would be coming.
No. So the motor's obviously the heart of the bike. So we've got this thing stripped down. It's going to need a couple of gears, cylinder plated and ported. The crankcase needed a small repair for the sump plug. There was a crack. Somebody's over tightened it. So basically, Mark the welder welded it up, Mark the engineer machined it back, rethreaded it. It's like brand new. So they'll be fluffed and buffed. All new bearings, all new seals, bushes, new rod kit, piston, clutch basket. It'll be like a brand new pin. Outer covers being cerakoted. We've got the mag outer clutch cover and ignition cover to look like factory ones. So they will look very similar to the Skittles bikes we built last year. But this is where we're at. An engine on average costs us in parts about 1,200 quid. So you get a second-hand 2-stroke engine, you're going to do 1,200 bones on rebuilding it. And that's not including labour. That's just what we spend in parts, believe it or not. So you want it to run good, and you want it to run good for these guys to wring their necks on a 23-year-old dirt bike. You can't cut any corners, unfortunately. There's no cheap path to success with these ones.
Three trips on the motorway to get them lost.
Yeah,
that's the problem, isn't it?
So cylinders, it's all about the tuning. So this one has just been stripped, so now it needs all the studs taking out, power valve removing, and that will go for plating. So that will go to Gloucester to be plated. We'll send a piston to match, 7 micron clearance, and then these 3 are going this week. I'm actually taking them myself to Pro Circuit. They'll be on Mitch's desk by Tuesday night. So Mitch will work his magic on these 3. And when this one comes back from the platers with the one that they've already got, they can go back and be done. So these will be tuned to run on VPC12 fuel, Pro Circuit pipe. We'll have special electrics on them, and we'll be running V-force reed valves. So that's pretty much as good as you can do to make a YZ250 run good. So for Carson and for Brownie and for Ryan Sipes and a couple of others which we can't say yet. So there's 5 we're building. They are going to be rippers. So it's the first. Is that noise pissing you off? Because it's starting to get to me. Start again. So what these guys really need, they need it to be fast. Well, we can only do so much with that. They need it to stop. Well, Yamaha brakes not too bad. So as long as you rebuild them nice, You haven't got anything too fancy with the brakes, if I'm honest. Suspension, shocks, pretty good. A couple of little shimming tricks, nothing too crazy. Rebuild new bump stops, recoat them, make them look pretty, put the right spring rate on. There's only so much you can do. Forks are a biggie. A lot of these guys like the forks really, really stiff. And the kit fork in 0203 would have been the first twin chamber KYB fork, which is basically what came in production in 05. So that's what we're going to use. So this is basically an 02 kit fork. So we take some YZ250 0506 forks, strip them down. We're going to put some different feet on them, so we've got the right brake carrier for the 270 disc we buy in from Italy. Upper tubes are anodized to look like the Kashima Gold. In itself, that really isn't very cheap, but it makes a big difference. Then we'll put the right spring rate in. To be honest, you can't go stiff enough on the springs for these guys. So as long as the shock spring is the right weight for their weight, the fork springs, just go stiff. You can't go wrong, really. And we'll just rebuild them. A little bit of valving differences. We'll change these out for aluminium pieces. They're just normal scabby old shitters, but we'll rebuild them so they work good and look pretty. And hopefully we won't get too many complaints. So the shocks, standard shock body, we get them Cerakote because you don't really want to anodize them because it really messes with the internal dimensions. They might be fine, they might not, so it's not worth the risk. So we basically strip them, blast them, polish the body, get them Cerakoted. Then we make these new shock rings. These are always beat to shit, so they go in the bin. Make the new shock rings and rebuild it. A little bit of shimming. Somewhere near, good to go. Same as we've run for the last 3 years. Our own aluminium tank we import from Italy. Flush fit gas cap. Vents down the middle to feed cool air into the airbox. We do test fitments on these, make sure they fit, make sure they're not touching anything before we get them powder coated black. So until the bike's built with the rads on and all the electrics and everything, we'll then get these done. It's one of the last things we do. But because they're handmade, you got to hand fit each one to make sure that they are perfect. But so far so good on those. Then new Yamaha airbox. All these bikes when you buy them have had the updated facelift airboxes fitted to them. And even if they haven't, the airbox gets cleaned with a screwdriver. You've seen them do it, you're like, what are you doing? So you think, oh, it's going to be horrendous. New airbox from Yamaha, 140 quid. So you know what? They all have new airboxes. So there's that. Pro-circuit pipes on all of them. The subframes will have to be anodized strip because they're all anodized. So before we lower them and polish them, they've got to have the anodizing off them. So they're away at the moment. Swing arm, most of the swing arms are away being anodized strip. That one's back and it's already done for the big 245 rear brake. But that's because we had a spare one. The other brakes will be standard 240 diameter. All the brakes, just be standard brakes, rebuilt nicely so they work well enough. Carburation, same. The only thing you got to check on the carb, which I have told you before, is this solenoid here, which delivers fuel directly into the back of the slide there. That solenoid's got a little rubber tip on it. If that rubber tip's missing, it's going to bleed fuel all the time. It's going to be too rich and you ain't never going to be able to fix it. So take a 17mm spanner, crack that, see if there's a rubber tip on there. If it ain't, you're in trouble. A new one of them solenoids is 180 quid. You could buy a second-hand carb for 150, but it could be in the same situation. So that is, don't even try. If it hasn't got a rubber tip on it, you're never going to jet it. It's just the way it is. So that's a nice little touch. So all new vent pipes. Apart from that, the carbs are fairly stock. We've got the jetted specs that we've run for the last 3 years to work with, so we can get it somewhere near before we start. So that's good. Discs. Believe it or not, we have to get these discs from Italy. You can't buy them in England. Brembo don't import them. So we have these 270 discs. Now a 270 Yam disc is easy to get production. But they're all wavy and they look nasty. So we find these Brembos, the nice round, retro looking. Rear disc is just a replica of a stock one. So they're not too crazy. We don't try to go too modern, even though it would be a lot cheaper just to do that. But we keep the standard 270s, the wavy ones, if we have a problem with their spares. So apart from that, obviously this one's going to need a new chain guide. Nothing too worry about really. Just rebuild it all up, change it all, and this is just what we do. But at this point, these bikes are about in as many bits as they're ever going to be. So now it's all positive. Now it's on rebuild. So the stuff's in bits. We're now on, from now on in, it's all uphill. So it's going to be, every time you do something, it looks a bit better. It doesn't look worse. When you're taking stuff apart, you're like, oh, it's never going to end. But now we're on build. So there's 5 of them. It's going to keep us busy. We work on, it's going to be about 2 weeks per bike for 2 of us, flat out. So we'll do it a couple of months, but it will be busy times. But we know what we're doing. We've built enough of them. There should be no real surprises. Everything's ordered. The Dunlop tyres are ordered. The Venthyl bars and sprockets and chains are ordered. The tanks, we've got not enough. We've got 3, so we need 2 more. They're on order. The plastics are on order. The GMX rads are on order. I can't think there's anything else that we're struggling for. We've got the clutch purchase from RFX. Seats are on order from Guts. They'll make us complete seats with the new foams and whichever specs. So we'll have a couple ribbed, a couple not. When the subframes come back, we'll lower the subframe 5mm to bring the back end down. The tank's already a little bit lower. We'll have options for taller seat, lower seat, depending on the guys on the day, what they want to run. So, and one of these bikes is going to have to be recycled for the Farley Castle race, because we've just had Guy Martin going to race one. So I don't know if that's been announced yet, but hopefully this comes out after that announcement. Oh, wait, my mate. You ain't kid? What are you doing? Ugh. Sorry. So the bike's on build, VMXdN Foxhill, August bank holiday. You need to be there, really. It is a proper event. It's proper do. It's a bit of fun. Got some really big names coming. I'd say Carson Brown. A lot of you guys were asking for Carson Brown. Mike Brown's the godfather. He's got to be there. Ryan Sipes, American team. He's a player. Tom is keen as mustard. Brad Anderson, I've seen us come to the dark side and riding the Yamaha now. Good boy. So that we're announcing people all the time. Alessio Chiodi is coming back. That Italian team with Philip Hart, Chiodi, and, well, the third guy was doing Grand Prix last year, Ivo Monticelli. Don't bet against them boys. They're going to be running out of the SC Sport Homes team, so that's going to look cool. And they got some big lumpy names. Chris Porcel, world champion, and when he wants to be, he's the fastest kid in the world. Yamaha are pushing for a couple more of their brand ambassadors. I've got a meeting in America next week with another one, so I don't want to give too much away, but hopefully that'll come off, and that'll be our 3rd American, even though he's not American. But he wants to ride an American team. So I'll wait for confirmation on that one. So it's all going off. Then the following 3 weeks after that, we've got the Vets Farley. Vets at Farley, we've got really good teams. We're building bikes for Guy Martin, TV guy, Sam Sunderland, Clement DeSalle and Mike Brown. So we got our hands full again there. But we're going to reuse the same bikes, because at that point they'd have done 45 minutes work. So we'll stick a clutch in them, tyres, brake pads maybe, and they'll be good to go. So it's going to be a bit spendy on the fuel, but that's what we'll do. So we got that going on. Like and subscribe. Check out the website, anything you like, all the cool stuff. If there's anything you think that we should make and we're not making, stick it in the comments. We'll have a think about it, no problem. But we've got a busy couple of months, but I'm hoping we break the back of this before the summer and we can have an almost relaxing time on the run up to the summer, because I've got a few other projects on the go. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Cheers, mate.